eventually. Okay, fantastic. Here we are at spiritualacceleration.com. Bonnie Serratore, welcome everyone. She's an amazing energy healer that I always encourage people to look at her work, and I'm really glad you're here. And so this is going to be the March energy update. And sorry that we had a bit of technical issues with the other video, but we're here now, and of course people can watch it on replay if needed. So, all right, I'm going to hand things over to Bonnie to just give her energy update. And as she's speaking, please write in some questions in the chat if you'd like, and Bonnie will answer them. I might have a few questions as well, and it's all really welcome, and we just want you to enjoy the update and get a lot out of it. So huge blessings, and Bonnie, I'll hand that talking stick to you.
Okay, all right. So when I start tracking the frequency of the month of March, okay, because that's what we're doing, March. All right, so clearly we're having all these storms and all these really a lot of intense energy happening, severe weathers are happening, and that's going to continue actually through, well, hang on, I was going to go into the year, but no, let me just do March. Okay, so March. All right, yep. So we've got, there's still lots of different weather patterns still happening. Looks like it kind of goes really up and down, like there's going to be even more severe kind of weather about the third week of March as well. What I want to look at though is like, what does this month hold for people? Because, it's all about us and our experiences and navigating the world and our own lives. So when I look at the frequency of, okay, so March and like right now, this is the very beginning. So what I'm seeing on an energy level is almost like a dip, a pretty big dip, a drop. And what that is, that drop has to do with people's feeling of well-being, people's feeling of hopefulness and things like that. There's just so much going on, but there's the dip, like it's pretty severe. Like here we are coming from February and it goes deep, strong dip down. Okay. And then it kind of goes flat for a little bit. And then probably about another week, a little over a week, maybe 10 days, the energy is going to start to come back up. Energy, the different things that are happening globally, the energy will start to shift and change, and people will start to feel like more like they're coming out of this really intense phase. And there's gonna, like March also has some, that springtime is happening. And for some areas, there will be that climate, that warmer weather of spring that will lift people's spirits up. And if they don't go really high, but then I see another plateau happening where people just aren't really feeling like really enthused. There's like a dampening of people's lives, and because of all the intensity and all the effects of the severity of things that are happening globally, the weather patterns and the war that's happening, people being killed, dying, all kinds of really intense things. And then also, I'm also seeing that people will feel like within their own selves. So for some people, there's going to be a bit of like a little bit of a hopeless and helpless kind of feeling. It's kind of interesting because other people I see like they're just writing it and they're not dripping into really dark places. So we're going to have like a split. Some people dripping into darkness, helpless, hopeless. Other people, just kind of writing it and knowing and understanding perhaps that there's just a lot of shifts. Oh, that's what that is. Got it. Okay. So there's also belief systems. And so there's a lot of people believing or knowing or understanding that this is what we call the apocalypse, so to speak. Not like we think of in Christianity, but there is that shifting, is the shift of the ages. But there are those that have those belief systems, and they're believing that this is, that time where, those who are the believers will be saved, and this is all part of that. Okay, so just so y'all know, that's really not the truth, but I just wanted to bring clarity with that, because there's belief systems, and belief systems literally affect the thoughts, the feelings, the collective consciousness. And when we have strong beliefs, people are, whether they believe or not, they are affected by these really deep belief systems. So, we're just dealing with a lot of belief systems, as well as, what people are actually physically, emotionally, mentally going through. So it's going to be kind of a up and down month, kind of an intense month, mellowing out, and then more unrest kind of energy. Yeah, so it's kind of a choppy month, plateaus and ups and downs. But basically, the key for everyone is whatever you're experiencing, whatever you are living, and the challenges within, if you can keep remembering that everything is happening in a very beautifully divine plan, and it's unfolding. So this is part of the shift of the ages. It is part of what happens as the light shines on the planet, new paradigm, new world, new earth, and being able to ride those times. The key really is just keep your heart open no matter what. Keep feeling that sense of love no matter what. And what that does is it keeps you more in balance. It keeps you more stabilized. But also what's really important is when we really keep our heart open and we are just letting our light shine, letting our love shine, we affect everyone, and even people you don't see or know. See, remember, energy has an energy frequency, almost like radio waves, that comes from our subconscious. So if we are holding that energy of keeping our hearts open in love and light, that does echo out into the entire world. So I think it's important for people to, no matter what you're going through, just keep coming back to all is well, divine plan unfolding. We're not being punished. We're not being tortured. This is what the journey looks like for the shifting into the new paradigm. And this is all part of that unraveling, unfolding. So again, we're just, we're all participating, we're all co-creating. So if we really want to co-create a higher vibrational frequency, then again, hold that frequency of love and light. If you go into negativity, you go into fear, remember you're echoing that energy out into the atmosphere, out into the world. You're hitting the collective consciousness, and it just keeps that darkness going. So the more of us that just keep holding that lighter frequency, holding the higher vibration, we will affect change together that will affect humanity, and it will affect the frequency of what I might call the darkness. It's that dark place, that victim place, that unconscious place where people believe they're victimized, that these things are happening to them, they're being punished. And then all the fear levels, all that fear energy. So as we, really tap into our own frequency of love and light, then we are holding a frequency that really does help to balance out. Because keep in mind, the masses are in negativity. So again, if we hold that, then it does start to penetrate that frequency, and even the masses will start to shift, because it doesn't take as many to bring light as it does, to hold that darkness. So again, we really want to hold that frequency, and just really, really understand and know that there really is a much, much higher vibrational consciousness frequency in that divine plan unfolding. And this is the journey. This is what it looks like. So if there's if anyone wants more information or questions or have any thoughts or that they want to share, we can open that up.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Bonnie. I was going to ask you, what do you think is causing all this commotion? But then you mentioned all the light pouring into the earth right now is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's our sun who's really changing, isn't he? He's really shifting. Vibrationally, becoming somebody totally different. He's moving to a higher level.
Yes, definitely. And that's what it's all about. I mean, think about when light shines, darkness gets revealed. So what's really happening globally for everyone is the darkest unconscious wounding, misperceptions, beliefs, all that darkness that people hold. The light of the new paradigm is shining on everyone. It's pulling that energy up to consciousness. And this is why we're seeing so much happening globally. Even the earth patterns, everything is shifting and changing. So we are in that shift. We are in the shift of the ages. It's really true. And again, it's still about, no matter what, keep that heart open.
Well, I'm just encouraging people to write in their questions. because, I know that we did have to switch to another YouTube. Apologies for confusion. But another question. When you go to a new high Cynthia and I say, think about going to a new paradigm. Is that a new age? Is that what they call the Sat Yuga? Do you call it that? The Kali Yuga being ending now, the age of destruction. I guess those are the Hindu terms.
Yeah.
And Sat Yuga is being sort of this, moving increasingly into this time of light and peace and prosperity, where we're not going to be at war or struggle anymore.
Yeah.
Now, what a lot of people will say to me is, if we're entering the Sat Yuga in the era of peace and prosperity, why are things still so difficult? Why all this craziness coming up? And it's a great question.
Yeah.
So your insights on that, please.
I mean, yes, that is, different cultures, different systems have their own labels for what's really happening. And again, people, you need to understand, we're coming out of that Piscean age. We're coming out of death, destruction, darkness, negativity, greed, hatred, all of that. It doesn't just shift just like that. Just imagine all the lifetimes that people have had in negativity, even when we were in different time periods, even beyond the Piscean age. There's still the issue that humanity has, and that is we have emotional experiences, traumatic experiences that cause us to feel all this emotion. If we don't surrender to that and know ourselves in that, then we hold on to it and then we bring it into our next incarnation. We contribute to the global, the global frequency of collective consciousness, all the belief systems, and it takes time for all of this to get revealed, to shift and transform. I mean, think about it. It takes lifetime after lifetime for all of us to get more wounded and more contracted and more suppressed and more fear-based and victim belief systems. So it isn't going to just, okay, all of a sudden with the light shining, well, we're not fully in the new paradigm yet. We're at the precipice of the new paradigm. Remember, these paradigms, these ages last about a couple thousand years. So we're in the very beginning stages of that. So everything that is not of light is coming up. So the intensity that we're all, of the world itself, of all the emotions, all the peoples, the patterns, earth patterns, all of that, it takes time to wash everything out, to purge and purify all this blackness, okay? So if people are thinking, okay, new paradigm, immediately we're shifting, no, get a clue here. Everyone's been bringing their lifetime after hundreds and hundreds of thousands of lifetimes, people carrying the same old wounding. Okay, that's what's being unraveled now, is all the wounding and all the belief systems and all the emotional components of that are all being revealed. This is why the people who have greed and jealousy and envy and hatred and judging others and all of that. And then the truth is everybody has it. Everybody, to some degree. Some are clearer than others, but we're still all holding some kind of negativity. That has to be purged out. And the way that happens is crisis. Crisis does it, okay? So where everyone's in crisis and everything, if you just keep opening your heart no matter what, like I was saying earlier, you will shift. You'll move through. You'll start to experience more of that light. But people that are holding on to those misperceptions and the poor me's and I'm being punished, you're hurting me, the blame game, the victimization game, all that negativity, all the hatred and that kind of thing, you're going to have suffering a lot longer. So I'm telling you straight up, people, do your inner work, keep your heart open. When your heart breaks or you feel intense, go through it, own it, claim it, and know it, and be done with it. Otherwise, you're just going to keep contributing to more negativity, more darkness, more pain and suffering. Okay, so all of us are a part of this. Let's come together, people. Let's come together, and let's come together with that knowing that it's all about love and light, period. That's it.
Well, Laura has a question on that exactly, saying, how do we keep our hearts open? So I know you talk a lot about when something painful comes up, really go into that and just cry it out, scream it out, let it come up.
Whatever happens. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. If you're, you all know love. Someone you either know someone you've loved, or you got a critter, you have something or someone that you love. Okay. If you need to think about that being, that person, that critter, let yourself feel that love. While you're in that frequency of feeling that love, have the recognition that this is your love. It's rising up from within. And now you have that. So now you have that frequency. Now when you feel like you got heartache, or maybe you've lost someone, or maybe, you've been hurt in some way, rejected, abandoned, betrayed, whatever. You now have that knowing. Bring that love, hold that love, bring in the awareness of that experience that's causing you to feel the hurt. Keep the heart open while that love is there, and go through the pain that you are having. Okay, so recognize that it's that pain, but you keep your heart open to your own suffering. You're keeping your heart open to you, and in doing so, even more energy is released, even more energy is revealed, and you're going through some really deep, profound unraveling of the emotional body. And when you're done, you will feel your heart more open. We can all do this. It's just, are you willing? Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to step in and face your own self, face what's ever coming up inside of you, keep the heart open no matter what, in the face of rejection, abandonment, being judged, being humiliated. Can you keep your heart open and still hold that love? Yeah, you can, but I'm not going to tell you it's going to be like a simple little, oh yeah, I'll just do that. Yeah, no, you might think you're going to die. You might have excruciating pain. Your heart might feel like it's shattering. Keep it open anyway. I'm telling you, people, I've been doing this work 37 years now professionally, and I have worked with thousands and thousands of people. I know what works and what doesn't. Keep the heart open no matter what. You will shift.
All right. Now, Ruby has a question I've had, that maybe you're trying to heal yourself. You're going through fully feeling the emotions, but then you find there's still some emotion left. There's still some resentment, upset, grief, whatever. Do you go through it all again?
Yeah. Well, actually, usually what's happening is there's still residue. That means there's something that you're not quite aware of. Okay. Like, for example, in my own world, I had major things happen this last year, like serious, got whacked really big. And so I went through a lot of the emotion. There was still some kind of grab. So then I started paying attention and looking at, okay, what is this? What's going on here? And then I discovered, oh my goodness, this is that part of me that I've never really embraced, or even knew on some level, that there was a neediness. So once I started doing the neediness, it's like, oh, there it is. That's what's up, and I could do that frequent, because both my parents pretty much abandoned us, and I'm waiting for my mom, the needy, and my mommy to come, and there's a lot of heartache in that. So going through that, then it just took me to another level. So that's what's actually happening is, if there's still a grab, there's still an emotion, there's still something, it's just, there's another component that you're not aware of just yet. Okay. So sometimes it means just looking at your life. What did you live? What are these feelings? What are these thoughts? Looking at your connection to your family, and just kind of exploring, or even get help, so it does work if you come in and feel. It's just that, again, if it's not gone, then there's just another component of that.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. I'm wondering what it might help just to image your child self in front of you and say, did something happen? Can you tell me? That kind of a thing, and listen inwardly. That has helped me sometimes.
Yeah. It just depends. Yeah, it depends. Everyone's different. So some things work well for others that don't work for others. Okay. So,
yes.
There's lots of different ways to come in. Even doing what I've said before, doing things like writing with your non-dominant hand. Write a letter to you, write a letter to your parents, write a letter to whoever you got an angst with. And that helps to reveal stuff as well. Using your non-dominant hand, writing as quickly as you can without, don't worry about grammar and all that kind of stuff. It's really about accessing the subconscious. And this is a way to do that. That's one way to do that. Sometimes even doing some of the breath work, way back in my time of work healing, I did a lot of holotropic breath work, different, we used to use them in the workshops, things like that. And sometimes people have amazing breakthroughs. So there are different things to do, to get in there. But part of it is once you have the desire, once you want that, things will start presenting.
They will come up. You are has a question to actually about so how does that huge event affect all of us, since we are all one consciousness, we're all connected?
Yeah. So, I mean, when we're looking, anybody, whoever, everyone, when you're witnessing these things happening, these natural disasters, we're witnessing, people, I mean, that's a lot of people. And this is all part of that divine plan. I want to back up really quickly because 1976, I was working on the astral planes, and I actually literally saw this time period. I saw clearly people would be dying by the thousands. Earth changes would be happening, natural disasters would be happening, a lot of different kinds, like the war, like we're seeing in with Russia and Ukraine. So all these things I saw. I was also given information and saw information about what we all need to do, and to prepare and to be able to survive these time periods. For me personally, I'm just knowing that if I'm meant to be here, I will. If I'm not, I won't. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just do whatever I have that guiding inner knowing to do. So these are the effects of all of this. When people witness this, and you see people, like well over 50,000 people in that earthquake have died. There's more than that, but that's, they're figuring about that. How does that affect you? So again, people, we are all affected by the experiences of other if we pay attention to ourselves. What is this eliciting in me? What am I feeling? What am I experiencing? What is that? How am I feeling these energies, and how am I reacting and responding? So everything is about us. Keep that in mind, people. You cannot change anybody else. You're not going to live through anybody else. You are the creator of your own reality. You are the only one who's really going to create your own life. So pay attention to you. You are your own barometer. You are your own vessel to find your own wounding, to unravel your own pain and suffering, and come back to the true frequency of pure love and light that is in every being that has ever been, is, and shall be. We are all that in the core. So again, everything that's happening is for us to wake up.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic. Sherry is asking, what's the best way to clear dark agreements or curses? Maybe a parent made them on behalf of their future children and family members. So I'm seeing a lot of dark agreement clashes coming up as well. And Sherry's an energy worker. She's seeing it. What's your input there, Bonnie?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen massive curses. I work with people almost several times a week, where people have done things in the past that are affecting them now severely. Okay. I've had people get deeply involved in the powers of darkness, satanic stuff, black magic, voodoo, sorcery, wizardry, witchcraft, all this really black magic, all this really dark energies. They don't have very memory of all of that, of course, but when you've opened those doors, you don't get to just come out of that and say, well, I've decided I want to serve the light now. It doesn't work that way. You're still being held. These beings, these dark energies, these demons, and all these energies will attack you. They will interfere with you until you clean it up. Okay, so curses and everything, we can unravel all this stuff. Because of the new paradigm, things are moving much more quickly, but all these things can be shifted, changed, and lifted. But we have to recognize that, there's something in me that's drawn it to me. Okay, again, it's all about me. It's all about my life. What do I need to unravel? And get help, people. If you can't find it yourself, get help. There's plenty of healers out there that can help.
All right, fantastic. And Bonnie's spiritual accelerators, are working with Bonnie herself, any of that, brilliant. You just go to spiritualacceleration.com. These are amazing people.
Oh, we got some good ones. We got some new people that have joined, and some of them they're awesome. Like, we got some power hitters, big time. It's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I want to say to people, if you just want to kind of sample and see what that's like for you to do a session, go to the healing clinic, go to members.spiritualacceleration.com, see when the next healing clinic is, and sign up for that. I think, is it still $37?
Yeah. It's like a great deal. It's like an intro for people who've not ever experienced a healing. it's a quick 15 minutes for $37. I mean, it's a deal. So, you know, if you want to see what that's like, have an experience of that, do it, because it's a great way to have that intro into what we do, the true unraveling and clearing that we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And record it so you can listen to it again, because it's amazing. Yeah. All right. So wonderful. Gail is asking, are you able to switch timelines to help prevent pain and suffering for another person? In other words, if a daughter or a loved one injured themselves, is there anything I can do to move timelines so I can lessen her pain? That's an interesting question, isn't it?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say it's so much about timelines. It's more about what's causing, again, it's what's really going on here. What is she calling in? Why is she in pain? Okay, what, you know, for me, it's not even about the timeline. It's about your past lives. It's about the soul's evolution. What is she carried forth? I can see clearly there's definitely she's called a lot of stuff in that she hasn't cleared in the past. So now here it is again with more intensity, which is what happens. It gets more intense until we unravel it. And she's being asked to face all this, you know, all the deeper old past life stuff that's in her carryover. So that's how I would go after it.
All right, wonderful. Cynthia's on, and she's just saying that the March Healing Clinic is sold out. Not surprising. So everybody aim for April then. Wonderful. So again, this is energetic. This isn't just technical, like switching timelines and figuring out how to do that. It's because on some level, your daughter would still have to figure out.
Switching timelines is not going to, because it's a soul thing. Okay, it's carried in your soul. So no matter, I don't care where you are, I don't care what time, space, dimension, universe, galaxy, lifetime, relative, black hole, perilous frequencies, I don't care where you are, you still have it. Okay, you still have to face yourselves, people. There's no way around it.
No way around it. Forward on any timeline at some point, or in another life.
Yes.
I can kind of relate to this. Again, Jesse's saying it doesn't seem like it's ever done. I continue to feel deeply feel in love and acknowledge the feelings of lack within. Grief continues, not only personally, but as the world is such a mess. Yeah. So what do you say when somebody never feels like it's done? Is it possible to clear everything in one lifetime?
You know what? I wouldn't say not normally, but now with the new paradigm, so much more can be cleared, seriously. And if I look at my own life, Oceana, I swear to you, I was severely damaged, okay? Incapable of even being in the world. You know, people would look at me now thinking, oh no, she didn't. No, I was messed up, okay? Severe. And it's all about the unraveling. That's all I have done to get where I'm at, is to go in and clear and unravel and heal. And I used life. Like I said, this last year for me has been major, like severely major, but what it did is it brought some of the deepest stuff I've been looking for in my entire life, finally brought it to the surface so I could heal it. Okay. So, you know, it's like, it's a soul's journey, people. Don't, you know, it's like, whether you wake up this lifetime or not, doesn't really matter. Show up for yourself. That's the biggest thing. Do your inner work, show up, come into your pain body, come into your broken, shattered, all those misperceptions, and shift happens. If you're not finding shifts, I'm telling, again, kind of like what I was saying earlier to Oceana, there's something you're missing. There's a piece that you haven't gotten yet. Otherwise, it would be unraveling. I can tell you straight up, people, when an issue is over, it's friggin' over. It's done. Okay. I am evidence of that. And my life is evidence of that. And I can tell you, in my journey, which started in 1984, for real, I started my journey, my quest for waking up, for healing, 1984. That was the year I actually was checking out. Truly was going to kill myself, for real. And obviously I didn't. I'm still here, but only because the shifting that started happening changed my life. Okay. Then I knew what it was like to feel changed within. I knew it. And then that just kept me going. And then I brought I started creating my own work, my own, how I work, what I found. And that's what SA is all about, as well as throughout my life. I've been bringing these teachings for a long time and the work for a long time. So so just stay committed. And if you need, don't be afraid to get help. Sometimes we need the eyes and sight or senses of other to really help us find what we can't find.
Absolutely. Wow, I've really found that myself. And what that helping hand or the tools you learn, what that can do for you is help bring you out of that victim frequency, which you're going to unconsciously carry until you start getting support and start actively working to
Right.
bring up these feelings and really work through them. And, Cynthia was saying earlier, when you talk about feeling your emotions, etc., is softening to your feelings. Is that part of keeping your heart open as you're feeling your stuff,
Yep.
softening into it?
Yep. Yeah.
Not
Soften.
judge, not try to
Yeah.
suppress it.
Don't try to suppress it. Don't judge it. Don't find fault. Just become the emotional energy. If you're still in thought, you're not unraveling. I hate to tell you, but this is the recycle people do all the time. They cry, cry, cry. I've been doing all my healing work all these years. I've been crying. No, you've been in your friggin' mind thinking thoughts while you're crying. It doesn't work that way. You have to become the energy. You have to become the emotion so fully that nothing else exists. And my book is about that. The Way Back Home describes clearly how to use your life, how to use your reactions to unravel and clear. So if you need support, get that book, The Way Back Home.
Yeah, I think that if you go to members.spiritualacceleration.com, you can get it as not an Audible, but the book kind of book you listen to.
Yeah, it is audio. It's audio.
Audio,
Audio. Yeah. We have downloadable audio and that.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. And it will give you that basis, that lovely foundation to understand what Bonnie's work is really about. I'm wondering, you deal an awful lot with getting entities who are sitting in people's bodies cleared out and into the light. Now, I had a moment recently where I was letting a lot of emotion and frustration come up, probably because of this light coming in. I was just letting all this come up, and I didn't feel I was thinking. I felt that people were chattering. I felt that some of these entities were chattering, not face this moment.
Yeah. What's a trip too is sometimes the thoughts we're having are actually those entities. That's always
absolutely. That's what I mean. Yeah, it wasn't me.
Right.
I was concentrating on just being feeling, and yet this stuff would pop up. And I kind of said to them, you people need to go to the light, please.
Go home.
Loved ones come in. But it's quite everything the attention is. I feel like it was big, but it went too far. So I feel like it just went too far. And then we have soul fragmentation and interesting experiences that are not helpful for our growth.
Right.
Absolutely, this is what spiritualacceleration.com is here for, to help you move along.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many things, people. You got soul fragmentation, you got soul splintering, soul shattering, you got division in your own soul, and you got all these past lives. You got, what I mean? It's just all this stuff that people have no clue about until you find, until you get some healing work, and it's like, whoa, and then you feel different. Even soul retrieval stuff and essence retrievals and being scattered. I mean, there's so many things that are affecting people, and people have no clue. It's just crazy. It's wild. It's a wild ride. That's all I can say.
And the clearings you and your team do, they often address things like addictions and things that people would struggle to get out of. And I think you've said before, very often, those are entities who have the addiction. They're drawing more food or more smoking or drinking.
Yeah. I used to work with heroin addicts way back in the 80s. And if I got the discarnates out, people were able to get off the drug, get off heroin, for real. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and and then also all the other addictions as well. Okay, but there's also an emotional component too that has to be addressed and unravel that, and then you have good results with people.
Wow, fantastic! And you find that works a lot better than somebody going through months or years of rehab.
Probably. I'm sorry, Oceana. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yes, okay. People, you have no idea. If you've got 100 discarnates and you wanting heroin or wanting cocaine or wanting cigarettes or wanting chocolate, guess what's going to happen? Okay, get them all out, and then you're just dealing with your emotional issue. Clean that up, and whoo, game over. Yeah.
Now, I just want to clarify, and it's up to you, Bonnie, how much longer you want to go here, but I just want to clarify. Sometimes people will say, like I do channeling sessions, people have said, oh, but every problem, every physical problem has an energetic basis. Apparently, a number of spiritual teachers have said this. But I've heard you say sometimes when something is troubling you physically, it really does have to be dealt with in the physical. And I felt that as well. But
Oh, yeah. Like, let's just say, like, for example, cancer, okay? People with cancer, there's all the emotional, but it's become physical. So we are dealing with physical. And right now I'm working with my brother, who I just discovered like just a couple months ago has cancer. So I'm working with him, but I'm going in, I'm looking for the different components of emotion. I work with the cancer directly in the body, the tumors and all the frequencies, and then also any other discarnates that are also contributing to that, belief systems. And then I go into the subconscious, because people, we are constantly undermining our own selves, self-sabotaging ourselves, judging ourselves unconsciously, okay? All that stuff's got to get cleaned up. But there is a physical component that we do need to address. Yes, all the energy healing and clearing will absolutely start to shift and change. And oftentimes there's physical things that have to, like, you do start, if you've got cancer or whatever these other different things people have, you need to be doing things like my brother is doing acupuncture, and he is doing Chinese herbs. He's not going the route of chemotherapy, that kind of thing. He tried it, and about killed him, but that's the way he's going, and he is getting better. He is feeling better. Okay, so yeah, you need to address it on all levels, not just get energy clearing, but deal with it physically as well.
Yeah, fantastic. From what I understand, people have cured themselves of cancer with dietary changes, with vitamin C and herb. It's fantastic. Yep. Using the Chinese herbs, yep. Acupuncture, wonderful, absolutely brilliant. Meditation, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. So, I mean, people will do meditation and they'll start visualizing the cancer, and they'll go in and start working it. I've had people have miraculous things happening doing that. They're doing their own, working within their own selves. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Rubian is asking for tips on how not to have any thoughts when you're going through an emotional issue, to fully feel and heal it. We kind of already talked about that by write a letter to yourself or your parents, whomever, with the non-dominant hand, and also to go into your breathing. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that, Bonnie?
Yeah, well, when you go into an emotion, our tendency is to keep telling ourselves the story. Okay, focus on the actual emotion. Keep bringing your awareness back to the actual emotion that you are experiencing. The moment you have a mind thought, let's just say, for example, you're feeling your heart and it feels like it's breaking, and you're going, oh my God, I might die, or oh my heart. Those are just thoughts that distract you. Don't even finish the thought. Come back into the emotion and continue to go through what that all feels like. So yeah, it's just a matter of learning how, because we're so trained and we've learned how not to feel and avoid feeling. So now it's like relearning. So
excellent.
Yeah. So, I do want to keep kind of on track on our, the March topics. I'm not sure if this is really, I mean, it's good. I'm sure people are going to have great stuff, but I'm just wondering.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine. Well, going back to that, Cynthia is saying, how can we specifically work with the energy in March? Does the March energy support us in a particular way?
Yeah. Oh, good one. Okay, there we go. Yes. Okay. So with all the ups and downs of March, it's like a roller coaster. Okay, you're going to feel lighter, and all of a sudden you're going to feel like more intense. Okay, it might feel like the rug's being pulled out from underneath you. It might feel like, oh yes, I'm riding high. Then I'll, so all kinds of ups and downs will be happening. Again, same thing. No matter what, keep coming back to the heart. Keep coming back to the frequency. Find your own energy. Find your own feeling of love. Okay, bottom line, that's it. Keep holding that, keep coming back to that, no matter what you're experiencing, people. It's all about keep the heart open in the midst of crisis, keep the heart open, enjoying happiness, keep the heart open at loss, betrayals, abandonment, being judged, being forsaken, all of that. Keep the heart open no matter what. That is the key.
Absolutely. Do you find, I find for myself, meditation helps a lot to even things out when these energies get too intense. So I kind of encourage people to meditate if that helps you to come back to your center and stop with all the distractions, etc. Also, I'm finding people are really exhausted by the energies coming in right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
And you guys feel dizzy as well. So should we just get to rest?
Well, bottom line is this, people, do your inner work. That's the bottom line. Face yourself. Everybody's got unconscious wounding. Everybody. Misperceptions of reality, conclusions. You have beliefs that you're a victim. You're hanging on to victimization. There's perverse pleasure in your own suffering. Wake up to it. Wake up to it. And then take action to shift and change.
Oh, fantastic. All right. If anybody has another question on March, we can close with that, I guess. But I mean, I'm just looking at what Bonnie would say, old belief systems coming up. That can feel sometimes like we're kind of through our family or our culture or ourselves. It's based on old belief systems. And that's what the energies are pushing out. When you say.
Oh, so you were breaking up a little bit. I didn't catch that last part. Say again.
You were seeing the old belief systems coming up.
Oh. Okay.
And when we release old belief systems, it can feel like we're throwing away part of ourselves, part of our family, our culture. But in a sense, these energies, they're calling us to something a lot bigger than that.
Oh, yeah. No, this is beyond all of that, people. We have to go beyond our whole cultures, our belief system, our families. This is major shift of the ages. That's what we are all in. We are all being asked to show up in a different way, to step out of the victimization, step out of all the family dynamics, and recognize we're all souls evolving. We're all souls waking up. We all want the same thing. We're all going to the same place. Same in you, same in me. We're exactly the same, only different. And we have to step up now, and it's all about us. Everything I experience is all about me. Everything you experience is all about you. You've called it in. You've co-created it. I've called it in. I've co-created it. Now I'm taking responsibility, and that's what we all need to do. We've all co-created the mess we're in. Now let's unravel it. Love and light. Keep that heart open.
And as we're holding that light, I think it supports
hold
other
the
people.
light. Yeah, hold that light. Yes.
Yeah. Cynthia's saying I'll use what occurs in March to really question all the beliefs that might come up. So that's probably a good idea.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, question everything.
Fantastic. So Bonnie, if you have anything else you wanted to add, or happy to hear that, otherwise we'll close the day.
I'm sorry, you broke up again. Say again.
Oh.
I don't know. There's something.
If you had any other comment you wanted to add, that's fine. Okay. Otherwise, we'll run for the day.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the only thing I really want to say is I know through direct experience that keeping the heart open is a game changer. So I'm just encouraging everyone, no matter what, find that feeling of love, keep your heart open, write it through, and you will be changed for the better.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so much, Bonnie. So even though there's a lot of up and down, apparently it's for our higher good. So that's
everything is. There's no mistakes here, and it's not about being punished and tortured. It's about wake up. Wake up. It's fine. Oceana, it's been great. It's been really fun having guests together. It's been a blast. Really fun. Thank you.
Really honored to be here. Absolutely was a blast. And thank you, Bonnie. And thank you, everyone watching live or on replay, and huge blessings. And we'll see you again next month, I guess.
Yes, next month. All righty. Cool.
Huge blessings. Namaste.
Namaste, yeah.